gabi sa iyo.
At abogado ng Banatero.
Ay,
Huwag niyo kakalimutan niya.
Kapatay tayo dyan, ha? Bakit may abogado? May kaso ba tayo? Attorney, magandang gabi po.
Magandang gabi po sa inyo, Banatbay, Coach Oli, at saka Boss Dada. So nice to be here again.
Yes, alam ko kasama mo ngayon ang iyong napakagagandang mga anak, kaya iba rin ang iyong ngiti. Talagang gandang-gandang iyong ngiti, attorney.
Boss Dada, konti.
Sa dami ba naman ng inyong inaasikaso, talaga namang alam natin na hindi na kayo magkanda o gaga. Banatbay, itanong mo na kung ano itong ano na ito, sagot ng OSG.
Ayun nga, attorney, isang tanong nga natin dyan. Ano ho ba ang binigay, ipaliwanag ho natin sa lengguaheng maiintindihan ng ating mga kababayan, ano ho ba itong pagginawang pag-atras ni Solgen dito sa Supreme Court po? Ano po yan?
Actually, this is a very good omen for us, no? Portents of the things to come, because this confirms our position, legal position a long time ago, that the ICC no longer has jurisdiction. Wala na pong jurisdiction dito dapat sa ating bansa, kasi nga po nag-withdraw na tayo as early as March 16 of 2018, natanggap ito March 17 of 2018, and pursuant to the Rome Statute, isang taon lang po yan, effective na yung yung pag-withdraw natin. So effective March 17 of 2019, wala na pong jurisdiction ng ICC nito. No? Yan po ang palagi nating sinasabi, kasi ang ginawa kasi ng Office of the Prosecutor, naghingi lang sila ng special order from the Pre-Trial Chamber noong May 24 of 2021. At nag-grant po ito noong September 21 of 2021. So anong ibig sabihin nito? More than 2 years po sila after wala na tayo sa ICC, bago po sila nagkuha ng order ng Pre-Trial Chamber. So ang ibig sabihin nito, wala na talagang jurisdiction yung ICC, kasi kung basahin natin yung batas, no? Article 127 paragraph 2, ang isang exception lamang doon is if the matter is under consideration. Ang ating stand palagi, at nagpanig sa atin ng Solicitor General, ganyan din ang kanilang stand, na ang matter under consideration ay yung may judicial consideration na, yung inaksyonan na ng pre-trial chamber. Bakit po ito? Kasi kung basahin natin under Article 15, no, maski sino kasi pwedeng makapadala ng sulat doon sa prosecutor, and the prosecutor unilaterally on its own, pwede siya mag-conduct ng preliminary examination. Yan ang contention ng kabila. Meron daw sila in 2018 preliminary examination, pero mali po yun, nagagawin yung rason na meron ng matter under consideration ng ICC. Kasi ang prosecutor, no, hindi po yung aksyon niya ang ginagawa ang may visa. Ang may visa ay yung order na ng pre-trial chamber. Kasi maski sino po nakakapadala ng sulat doon sa Office of the Prosecutor, at yung action lamang ng pre-trial chamber na order, yun dapat ang basihan. Yung pre-trial chamber nag-action September 21 of 2021. So effectively, sabi ng Office of the Solicitor General, pursuant to the doctrine of complementarity, yung ICC dapat mag-action lang kung unable tayo or unwilling to prosecute. Meron tayong judicial system dito, working masyado. So, under the principle of complementarity, dapat hindi na sila makialam. No? Kung may mga kaso man kay Presidente Rodrigo Duterte, hanggang ngayon nga walang pinail, maski isa dito sa ating bansa. No? Dapat dito lang, kaya meron tayong working judicial system. So, magandang balita po ngayong araw. As of 1 o'clock and 3 minutes this afternoon, they filed that manifestation na gusto nga rin nila na i-drop na sila as respondents, na hindi na dapat siya kasali. Kasi doon sa original na petition for certiorari ko, pinail ko rin for President Duterte and Senator Bato de la Rosa, in-include ko yung Solicitor General, no? Kaya para malaman talaga niya, at he can make the proper supposedly manifestations before the ICC, no? And he can supposedly advise the government officials that ICC no longer has jurisdiction on the matter. And since ngayon, nag-file na talaga siya ng kanyang legal stand, wala nang abogado sila Torre except yung ngayon na nag-represent sa kanila yung DOJ. Yun po ang effect nun. Nagkalas na ang DOJ, naghugas ng kamay, nag-side na sa ating stand ang OSG na wala ng jurisdiction ang ang ICC dito, at yun ang kanilang permanente na posisyon. They have always been maintaining that position and they would like to stick to that position, and I commend the OSG for doing the same.
Kaya lang, attorney, kasi may mga tanong-tanong, hindi ba kaya niya ginawa yun para sabihin na wala na sa amin yan, hindi na namin hawak yan, hawak na yan ng ICC. Hindi kaya ganun lang ang ibig niya sabihin?
Hindi po. Hindi po. Ang ibig sabihin po nun, klaro naman dun sa kanyang manifestation, that they are sticking to their legal position, that the ICC no longer has jurisdiction over the Philippine situation. They have always been espousing that legal position, and what it is doing now is simply to maintain that legal position po. Fake news na naman yan, intellectual dishonesty na naman yan, sino naman yung mga expert na yan na nagsabi po na ganyan.
May nagsasabi pa. May nagsasabi naman na baka delaying tactic lang nila ito, attorney, kasi syempre wala sila considered na walang magtatanggol sa kanila or wala silang abogado para sa inyong sa inyong ikinaso. So, pwedeng pagpatatagalin nila para maghahanap muna kami ng pwedeng magtanggol sa amin.
Hindi rin. Kasi yung 24 hours habeas corpus, inextendable yun eh. So, as a matter of fact, may nag-file ng comment sa kanila, no? Yun pong Department of Justice. Na-receive din ng mga kasama natin ang comment ng Department of Justice, and it was a comment, consolidated comment ang tawag nila. So, ang DOJ na ngayon, ang nagrepresenta ng mga respondents po.
Kaya lang, attorney, isa pang tanong dito, anong magiging epekto nito? May epekto ba ito? Kasi baka naman hanggang dito lang sa Pilipinas yung ginawa ni OSG, di ba? May epekto po ba ito sa korte, sa ICC, yung kanyang ginawa?
Yes. May epekto ito dito sa ating bansa, sa Supreme Court, especially dun sa kasong i-file ko for President Rodrigo Duterte and Senator Bato, because it confirms our position. Kasi abogado yun ng Republika abogado yun ng gobyerno. And it also has some bearing in the ICC, no? Kasi nasabi na ni Attorney Harry Roque na nasite niya yung Ibrahim case, na South African case, no? That if there is a violation ng kanyang pag-aresto, no? When there was grave violation of the arrest, illegal yung arrest, no? It can taint the jurisdiction of the court, then that also is in effect the position advanced by the OSG, so therefore it can strengthen the arguments there in the ICC. At saka meron nga din akong nasabi sa inyo noon pa, yung prosecutor versus Dragan Nikolic, no? What is that? That is an ICTY decision also, where the Yugoslavia International Criminal Tribunal of Yugoslavia, no, in that portion of the ruling, it ruled that if the rights of the accused, no, he was subjected to inhumane treatment, he was subjected to cruel treatment, then it can oust the jurisdiction of the court. And here, since we have always been maintaining the legal position that the ICC no longer has jurisdiction over the Philippine situation, then the Philippine government should not have cooperated anymore. But despite that fact, it cooperated with the, with the ICC. And we only learned ngayon, wala palang red notice eh. Parang notification, parang parang sulat lang pala ang natanggap nila. And our respondents were more than excited than the Interpol and the ICC to have former President Rodrigo Duterte transported to The Hague.
So, attorney, just in case lamang po, sabihin po ng Supreme Court na meron talagang problema sa pag-aresto, maaari po bang panagutin si Torre sa kanyang ginawa? Maaari po ba siyang makulong dito?
Oo, definitely. Kasi nga po, dapat kung ikaw ang mag-enforce, no? Wala pa ngang formal written request eh. Walang written request ha. Hanggang ngayon walang written request. Wala ring formal red notice talaga, no? Dapat kung ikaw ang inatasan na mag-implement, alamin mo yung mga rules of procedure kasi hindi ito Philippine rules of procedure. ICC rules of procedure nito. Kailangan nga dapat na alam niya yung Article 59, no? Kailangan alam niya yung Universal Declaration of Human Rights, Article 8, Article 9, which requires that the accused should be brought to the nearest competent judicial authority. Dapat alam niya yung Article 9 of the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights na dapat mapunta kaagad sa korte para makapag-assert sa kanyang rights yung dinakip, no? At saka kailangan na dapat sana na alam niya na bago niya i-implement yung warrant, hindi yan Bible na kailangan mo i-implementa kaagad. Kailangan mo muna yan ipa-confirm sa korte dito sa atin under Rule 39, Section 48 of the Rules of Court. Kaya nga yung mga annulment na yan, yung mga divorce na yan, no? Court order yan, let us say, doon sa Japan. Court order galing doon sa Netherlands or sa any court allowing divorce. Hindi mo yan effectively bigyan ng legal effect dito sa Pilipinas. Mag-file ka pa ng petition doon sa RTC, ipa-confirm mo muna yan, at sa kung na-confirm na yan, no, na pag-aralan ng korte, nabigyan ng due process, no? So, bago yan, i-implement dito sa Pilipinas. Si General Torres, si Northcat lahat Parang ginawang Bible yung natanggap niya na information and implemented it right away. Pati yung Miranda rights, mali din yun. Kulang yung mga recitations niya because he is not only enforcing a local warrant, no? He is allegedly enforcing an international warrant which followed international law.
Attorney, eto lang, nabanggit niyo po yung Article 59. Meron po ako napakinggan kanina, isang dean pa nga yun, di ko na lang papangalanan. Sabi niya hindi na daw applicable yung Article 59 since we are no longer part of the ICC. Kaya lang, tulad din nga po nung sinabi ko, yung pong, di ba dapat po yung Article 7 hindi na rin yung apply. Ano ho ba ang masasabi niyo sa mga taong, mga abogado na nagsasabing hindi applicable yung Article 59?
No, I still respect their opinion. Kaibigan ko yan, kasama ko yung dean, no? Ganito lang po, para maintindihan ng mga tao. Meron sila daw arrest warrant pursuant to the Rome Statute under the, batas ng Rome Statute. Kung mag-avail ka ng rights ngayon ng pursuant to the Rome Statute, hindi na applicable? Kabalbalan naman yan. At saka, ganito po, ipabasa lang sa kanila ulit yung Section 2 ng Article 59. Kasi doon sa Article 59 Section 2, ang custodial state has the obligation to bring the accused to the competent judicial authority. I-remind lang natin sa kanila, ano bang definition ng custodial state? No? Pursuant to ICRC-ICC Section 1 thereof, it states, no, ICRC-ICC Agreement, Section 1, defines what is a custodial state, and it has been defined as a state in which a person under a warrant of arrest issued by the International Criminal Court is detained while awaiting transfer to the seat of the ICC. In effect, it is a country that has actual physical custody over an arrested person pursuant to an ICC warrant, regardless of whether or not it is a state party or not. So, regardless on whether or not we are a state party, you are obligated to bring him to the competent judicial authority. Kaya nga yung form nga nila, may form na pinapa-fill up. Nakalagay nga doon na anong tawag nito, na whether he was delivered to a competent judicial authority. Alam mo ba anong nakalagay doon? I do not know. Ang nakalagay doon sa taga-ICC na nag-fill up noon. So, it shows that it is really a legal requirement whether he was arrested in a state party or not. Anong proof ko? Bemba ruling. Bemba ruling, that is also a court decision by the ICC, no? Congolisia, okay? Tapos, nadakip siya sa Belgium, Brussels, Belgium. Anong ginawa ni Bemba? Alam mo, dinala siya kagad, nag-file siya ng petition doon sa, sa Brussels Court of Appeals. Okay? So, even if the Brussels Court of Appeals, your rights were respected anyway, the warrant really appertains to you, but the fact remains that Bemba was given the right to go to the Brussels Court of Appeals, even if he was not a citizen of Brussels, and regardless as to whether or not Belgium was a state party or not. Now, isa pang has there been an instance where there is an ICC warrant, yet a local court disregarded the ICC warrant? Meron. El Masri case, no? That is a case in Rome, Italy, where El Masri, no, went to a local court in Madrid, in Italy, no, in Rome, no. And what did the Rome court decide? It decided na the rights of the accused were not respected, and we decided instead of surrendering him to you, we will deport him. Anong ibig sabihin nun? Ang ibig sabihin nun that there is that rule, due process, right? Matagal na masyado yan na concept. It started even with the Greeks and the Romans, di ba? The Themistocles, the immortal cry of Themistocles to Alcibiades, strike, but hear me first, no? So, pwede ka mag-strike, pero kailangan pakinggan mo ako. So, kailangan sana, dinala yun siya sa nearest court. Hindi dinala. So, there was a clear violation of the human rights of President Rodrigo Duterte, and there may be, no, mahirap lang talaga mag-comment kasi hindi ako official counsel pa sa ICC, no, and I respect the yung lawyer po natin doon, no, pero pwedeng sabihin na this can probably be used there.
Attorney, kaya lang meron doon sa unang hearing, 'di ba po, nagkomento po si CES. Nagkomento po siya at sinabi niyang it was an abduction or kidnapping. Pero parang hindi ho ata siya pinansin nung judge ng ICC. Napanood niyo po 'yon, sir?
Ganito kasi, meron kasing time nun. It can be raised during the confirmation proceedings. Okay?
So hindi pa time ito?
Initial appearance.
Okay.
Pero may basis din actually si ES doon. Kasi if you will read the ruling in Prosecutor versus Dragan Nikolic, this is an ICTY case. There was an implication there that you should raise it at the very first instance. So, kung basihan mo yung Dragan Nikolic case in the ICTY, kailangan kung yung acquisition over the jurisdiction of your person is defective, you should raise it in the first instance. Kaya siguro, geniusly, ginawa yun ni Executive Secretary Medialdea para during the confirmation hearing, which is supposedly the time by which you have to raise those matters, no? He can say that I even raised this matter during the initial appearance.
Kasi po, pinalalabas po nung iba na parang hindi siya pinansin. Dinedma daw siya ng ICC.
Hindi. Sa rules lang kasi ng ICC, dapat erase yun doon sa confirmation proceedings. Pero may basihanan din si ES doon kasi sa ICTY case nga, Dragan Nikolic, kailangan kung may question ka over the jurisdiction over your person, no, pursuant to that South African case likewise cited, which was decided likewise, na kung illegal yung pagkadakip mo, kailangan erase mo kaagad yan. Yun siguro ang naging rason bakit sinabi at nagmanifest kaagad si ES Medialdea. Sa akin yun, kung ako nun, genius yun na move. And kung ako yun, palabian pa to na ako. Kung sa Bisaya yan. I would have cited Prosecutor versus Dragan Nikolic. I would have cited also the South African case, no? where if there is defect in the process, no, in the arrest, kung kinidnap ka, kung may extraordinary rendition na nangyari, dapat erase mo yan at the very first instance.
Attorney, ngayon, merong isang breaking news na in-interview si ES at medyo paulit-ulit niya sinasabi na hanggang ngayon walang warrant. Meron ho ba kayong knowledge tungkol dito? Na meron ba talagang warrant o nagbabasa lang ng text itong si Torre? Kasi parang may binabasa-basa siya eh. Meron po ba talagang warrant o wala sa ngayon?
Physical warrant, according to Attorney Leo Delgra, Attorney Martin Delgra, wala silang na-receive, no? Yung physical warrant. So, yun yung legal theory ni ES since there was no physical warrant, no? Kasi in fairness, no, under our rules, under Rule 113, totoo yun na when you when you arrest a person, okay, the policeman need not have a warrant of arrest. Totoo yun. But when the accused later on requests for a copy, he should present it within a reasonable time. So, nasa Rule 113 yan. At that time, nag-insist kasi si President Rodrigo Duterte. So, General Torres should have with him a written copy, hard copy of the warrant of arrest.
So, until now, wala pa rin po yung hard copy na yun? Yun po ba ang tamang masasabi natin?
I could not confirm nor deny that kasi if you observe Sir Banatbay, di ba nagkahiwalay kami ni Martin? Nakapasok siya sa sa Villamor Air Base. Sumakay kasi ako sa sasakyan ni Attorney Vic Rodriguez, kasama kami ni Kuya Epe Salvador, no? So, hindi na kami nakapasok sa Villamor Air Base. So, maski nag-insist ako, I even cited Republic Act 7483, which 7438 na we have the right. Ayan, hindi na kami pinapasok. So, ang ginawa ko, pumunta na lang kami ni Attorney Vic Rodriguez at saka ni Kuya Epe Salvador doon sa Marriott Hotel kasi naghintay kami sa hard copy ng petition. Ang kapal ng mga petitions natin, and we had to have more than 15 copies kasi ang i-receive ng Supreme Court, 15 copies. And then, you have to furnish pa yung mga respondents doon. So, kailangan ko pang baguhin kasi originally yung petition natin for Senator Bato de la Rosa lang. And when I received a call na i-include na si President Rodrigo Duterte, so I had to change the petition a bit and ipasirox mo pa. Kailangan mo i-attach sa, sa petition. And ang pinaka-worst pa nun is nahirapan kami magpa-verify, magpa-subscribe kay President Rodrigo Duterte kaya hindi kami pinapapasok. Pati yung notaryo publiko hindi pinapapasok kaya tinatawagan na lang namin, bina-video call na lang namin para ma-notaryuhan lang. So, I cannot confirm nor deny kung may hard copy pa. Until now, wala akong nakita.
Attorney Torion, si Coach Oli po ito. Magandang gabi. Anong komentaryo niyo po dito? Kasi marami nagsasabi, wala na tayong pag-asa dito sa Pilipinas dahil hawak ka nila. Mas malabo pa yan sa pagputi ni Torre kung dito tayo magfo-focus dahil alam naman natin ang magiging reaction nila. Doon na lang daw tayo mag-focus dito sa mga kaso sa ICC and then let's pressure ICC na gumawa ng tamang desisyon. Ano po masasabi niyo doon?
Ang sa akin, double. Okay? Kasi most legal theorists would advance the view that since President Rodrigo Duterte is already in the ICC, the case has become moot and academic. The answer to that is wrong. No? It is not purely moot and academic simply because of the fact that I have 4 prayers there. We can still request the Supreme Court to restrain the government from further cooperating, from making any other cooperative actions via the ICC, such as provision of evidences, kung mag-request ng further evidences ng witnesses, kailangan hindi na tayo mag-cooperate dyan. Yung declaration na ginawa talaga na nila na pag-cooperate na kailangan ma-declare yun as unconstitutional, illegal, void. So hindi pa yun moot, And then pwede kasi tayo which I already did in the supplemental petition with motion for reconsideration. Doon, sinight ko na yung right in essence ni President Rodrigo Duterte. In-explain ko na bakit hindi moot and academic yung kaso, etc. etc. At pwede kasi, nag-pray ako doon na i-require yung respondents na to make the proper manifestations before the ICC, no? To do anything and everything that would inform the ICC that the arrest was illegal, that there was no compliance with Article 59, that the situation akin to Prosecutor versus Dragan Nikolic is present, and therefore, it ousts the jurisdiction of the ICC. So dapat, i-require itong mga respondents na ito na hindi sumunod sa international law na gagawa ng mga hakbang doon sa ICC para at least may additional arguments yung ating mga abogado doon na sasabihin, yung mga gobyerno nga nandito ngayon, no? Gusto nila na ipabalik si President Rodrigo Duterte kasi yung acquisition over the jurisdiction of his person is void. Pwede pa rin yan.
Attorney, sundan ko yung sinabi mo kasi may mga may maraming nagtatanong sa akin, at hindi ko naman sila masagot, na yung intelligent guess nyo po na tsansa nating maibalik agad si Tatay Digong dito sa Pilipinas, considering na sinasabi nila kahit po lahat pumabor ang Supreme Court sa atin, wala na ang jurisdiction kung hindi nasa ICC na. So yun po, yung tsansa, maibalik natin si Tatay Digong.
Okay, kung papabor yung Supreme Court natin, pwede nila orderan itong mga respondents. Kayo ang nagkamali dito. Okay? Maggawa kayo ng mga hakbang doon para malaman ng ICC na wala yung pag-acquire ng jurisdiction over his person was void. Okay? So they can actually be ordered by the Supreme Court to do that, no? Pati nga dun sa petition for habeas corpus, hindi lang ako handling lawyer doon, hindi na lang ako mag-comment doon, pero doon na lang sa hinandle ko, pwede talaga silang orderan ng Supreme Court. Kaya hindi ito moot and academic. And besides, kliyente ko rin si Senator Bato de la Rosa, hindi pa siya nadadakip. So kailangan talaga merong TRO, merong order kasi this would actually resolve the issue as to whether or not the Philippine government authorities still have the legal obligation to cooperate with the ICC insofar as Senator Bato de la Rosa is concerned. And malay mo, yung ibang mga nakasaad daw doon, nakalista daw doon, na sila si General Albalayalde and sino daw yun, mga iba-iba. Baka maapektuhan din sila. Then magamit nila yung kaso namin. So hindi talaga moot and academic. And besides, there is this leading case of David versus Arroyo, no? If a matter is of transcendental importance, or when there are grave violations of the Constitution, or when the matter is capable of repetition yet evading review, that is an exception to the mootness doctrine. So therefore, pursuant to the symbolic function of the Supreme Court can still rule on the matter in order to guide the bench and the bar as to what will be their courses of action in case a similar situation would happen in the future. So kaya nga, hindi talaga ito pa moot and academic even if nandun na si President Rodrigo Duterte sa ICC.
Attorney, kasi ito baka hindi ito pinapalabas sa ibang mainstream media, pero ito'y putok na putok sa social media. Yung sinabi ni Torre na, hihilahin ko yan, hihilahin ko yan, hihilahin ko yan. What if hindi talaga pumayag si Tatay Digong nung at hinila siya ni Torre? Una, tama ba yung ginawa, tama bang hilain considering na merong di umanong warrant of arrest, according to Torre, na hilahin na lang si Tatay Digong? And second, kasi yung mga susunod dyan dahil I was in front of you nung sinabi natin na wala sa warrant of arrest si Pastor Kibuloy that time. At sinabi ni Torre, papasok kami sa ayaw at sa gusto mo. So nagiging ganito na ang trending nito si Torre.
Magdemanda ka na lang.
Oo, talagang magreklamo ka lang, magdemanda ka na lang. Dito sabi niya, walang judge. So nagiging nagiging ugali and posible gagawin to ni Torre na sige, walang hihilahin ko yan, papasok kami, etc., etc. Attorney.
Which brings me to my main point. Kaya nga, hindi ito yung kasong final namin, hindi mutan academic. Para magiging gabay ito, magiging guide ito in future cases later on. No? Para madeklara doon na mali talaga ang ginawa ni General Torre kasi nga, yung arrest warrant, wala ngang hard copy. At saka yung arrest warrant din, sabi niya, hindi pa pinapa-confirm dito sa Philippine Court pursuant to Article 59. Dapat doon, dinala muna si President Rodrigo Duterte sa korte natin dito sa Pilipinas para ma-determine kung siya ba talaga yung covered doon sa arrest warrant, Article 59, Section 52. Second, whether or not the process was in fact observed properly. And third, whether or not his rights were respected. These matters should have been aired before the the warrant of arrest should have been confirmed by the RTC, and there should have been compliance with the Article 59. So the fact na hindi ito sinunod, dapat talaga marule yan para yang hihilahin ko yan ni Torre. Hindi na mauulit yan. Actually, magagamit yan, no? With due respect doon sa lawyer. Yung mga videos na yan, magagamit din yan ng ating lawyer doon sa, Hague, Netherlands. No? We will really provide him that so that he can likewise use that, no, to question the acquisition of jurisdiction over the person of FPRRD.
Ito, attorney, may tanong yung ating mga netizen. Although parang nasagot nyo na to kanina, sinasabi po ng NBI kahit walang hard copy na dala ang law enforcer, pwede niyang arestuhin ng tao kung alam niyang may warrant ito. Pwede po ba talaga yun?
Actually, that's covered under Rule 113. No? Unfortunately, that is provided in our rules. However, no, if after nadakip na siya, if the accused would demand to see a copy of the warrant, this time the arresting officer should present the warrant within a reasonable time. So, ang problema kasi during the entire duration, hindi talaga niya pinakita yung hard copy ng warrant, which is now questionable. Kasi ngayon lang namin nalaman na wala palang formal written request nga yung Interpol sa atin. At saka kailangan kasi yung warrant of arrest nga, no? Ipa-confirm mo na yan sa RTC. So siguro taktika lang yun ni General Torre para ma-accomplish niya kaagad yung trabaho. Well, that is just my opinion on the matter, but the fact remains is when President Rodrigo Duterte already requested for a copy of the warrant, no, after he was arrested, then he should have exerted effort to present it to him, the hard copy. But this was not done.
Attorney, pagka ba nag-rule in favor of us itong Supreme Court, pwede ba, impeachable ba ito sa presidente? Pwede ba nating ipa-impeach ang presidente if ever mag-rule ang Supreme Court in favor ng inyong mga TROs?
Actually, that is a very good question. Very good question, Boss Dada. And I would venture to say that, yes, it may be a betrayal of public trust. Okay? It may constitute as one of the grounds for impeachment, for betrayal of public trust. Note that the President of this Republic repeatedly state that he will not cooperate with the ICC and that he will not give any cooperation to the ICC, no? But he reneges on that promise. And besides, no, we already withdrew from the from the ICC indeed, and there has been repeated declarations on his part that he will not surrender any of our citizens. So, akin, opinion lang yan. Opinion ko lang yan. Pwede ako magkamali. But as Dean of a Law School, as a professor of law, it may be a ground for betrayal of public trust.
So, attorney, magsama-sama uli tayo para ipa-impeach. Pumunta tayo sa Kamara, sama-sama tayo, impeach natin itong presidente nito. Biro lamang po.
Hanap tayo ng ano.
Pero
hanap tayo
pagdating
ng
attorney sa mga lawyers naman online, nagbibigay ng kanilang opinion, palpak naman yung mga opinion na binibigay nila. Pwede ba nating ipa-disbar na itong mga to? Wala namang mga utak eh. Pwede ba yun?
Hindi. Freedom of expression din
Okay.
yan. Boss.
Mainit lang ulo ni Boss Dada.
Hindi, natanong ko lang kasi
sabihan mo lang,
supposedly
dapat siguro mag-usap kayo kay Dean Torion. Kay, di ba, may nagsasabi, according to Republic Act 9581, Section 17, the Republic of the Philippines may surrender. Ganon.
Pero,
ang bilang i-answer yun, Boss Dada, sir, pwede mo basahin buong Section 17? Nakalaad, doon sa ending part kasi, Boss Dada, pursuant to our existing extradition and treaties. Ano yung extradition and treaties? PD 1069 po yun. So, pwede mo siya isurrender but pursuant to extradition treaties. Ang ating kasing PD 1069 po, Boss Dada, yung extradition request, ipadaan mo sa DFA. Yung DFA, ipasa sa DOJ together with the attachments of the request for extradition. Tapos, yung DOJ, magpili ng abogado nila, mag-file ng petition sa RTC. So, dapat korte pa rin kung i-follow mo yung Section 17. Pero, sasabihin nila, but we do not apply extradition because ICC is not a state. An extradition is only entered into between and among state. Correct. Okay, so what will we follow? Surrender pala yun, surrender. So, what will be the operative law? Article 89. Ipabasa mo na naman sa kanila yung Article 89. I-review mo nga. Doon sa Article 89 po ng Rome Statute, if you have to surrender an accused, the surrender must follow the national law of the accused. Kaya wala talagang lusot dyan, Boss Dada. Sabihin mo lang, mag-usap na kayo ni Atty. Torion kung sino
yung
bang
DOJ,
tama.
sabi ng DOJ, sila daw yung competent,
Judicial authority. Maawa tayo doon sa kanilang kasi nag-calibrate yun nung hindi na ako nakapigil. If you will notice, Boss Dada, hindi ako nagpapa-interview for a long time kasi alam ko kung magpapa-interview tayo, makikinig yung kabila, mag-calibrate. Yung dean nga na kaibigan ko, nagpalabas ng kanyang statement sa Facebook and I was compelled also to answer kay baka ma-mislead yung mga tao. Nasite ko yung definition ng custodial state under Article 59. Aba, after 1 hour, ang stand ng DOJ, competent judicial authority na daw sila. Kailan pa naging competent, naging huwis ang mga piskal? Di ba? Piskal sila, hindi sila huwis. No? Doon nga sa kanilang department circular, they have always stated that their finding of probable cause is an executive function. No? And besides, Article 59, even if you will read the commentaries thereof, contemplates a judicial authority which is a court, not a prosecutor.
Kaya lang, attorney, ito, yung lahat ng mga batas na sinasabi nyo, meron talagang violation of the law, di ba? So,
yes.
Pwede ba natin talagang i-base na lang yung impeachment ni Marcos? Dahil talagang there's a violation na ginawa para tayong nagbigay ng isang kapwa Pilipino nang wala namang dahilan, kung hindi political.
Oo nga, first time ito, isurrender natin ang ating pinakamamahal pa na former president. Imagine, a Filipino citizen, sige tayo sabi, let us defend our national sovereignty. Yung sa WPS issue, West Philippine Sea. Oo. Let us defend. Yun, teritoryo, ito tao. Tao isurrender mo sa ibang mga puti na hindi naman natin kilala, no? This is grave and magkape tayo niyan, Boss Dada. Masarap na kape siguro yan kasi
baka impeach na natin, pa-impeach na natin, no? Gaantay po kami sa inyo. Coach Oli.
Attorney, sunda ko yung sinabi, no, maganda yung sinabi na tungkol sa impeachment. At alam ko maraming Pilipino nag-aantay na sila naman ang ma-impeach. Ngayon, ito ba ay sedition? Kasi kung halimbawa ako manawagan na iboto natin sa ating distrito yung mga congressman na alam natin ay supporters ng Duterte, nang sa ganon, come 2025, after the midterm election, tayo naman ang magsampa. Kasi kung hawak lahat sa leeg na itong si Tamba, hindi tayo makasampa ng impeachment. So, illegal ba yun kung manawagan ng taong bayan, iboto natin itong mga PDP o yung mga supporters ni Tatay Digo, nang sa ganun tayo magsampa ng impeachment?
right yan. Right mo yan. Freedom of expression po ninyo yan. So, kaya nga kung manawagan tayo, dapat iboto sila Pastor Apollo Sikibuloy para sa Senado para pag may impeachment trial, ituloy talaga nila yung impeachment trial ni VP Sara Duterte. At least straight yung ating yung 10, di ba? Na 10 na tayo ngayon. Sila Attorney Raul Lambino, si Attorney Jimmy Bundok, no? Iboto natin sila lahat. Sila Attorney Vic Rodriguez, Congressman Marcoleta, no? At saka si Pastor Apollo Sikibuloy. At saka yung mga kongresista mismo na mga pro-Duterte, no? Walang kamalian yan. Right mo yan as a citizen, and you have the right to assert that, and you have the right to hark upon other people to vote for them.
Maraming salamat po, Atty. Torion. Siguro po hingi na lang kami sa inyo ng last message para sa mga alalang-alala ng mga kababayan natin. Meron po ba tayong liwanag na makikita mula sa mga nangyayaring ito?
May kasabihan po sa Quran, binabalik-balik ko po yan. In every difficulty, with every difficulty, there is ease. Huwag po tayong mawalan ng pag-asa. Mensahe din yan ni Pastor Apollo Sikibuloy, no? That there is always hope, no? At the end of every storm, in every, there is always that silver lining, sabi ni Pastor Apollo Sikibuloy. So, kaya nga, kailangan tayong magdua palagi, kailangan tayo mag-pray palagi sa Puong May Kapal. Kasi sa nangyayari ngayon, no, nakikita natin na the wind of opportunities are in our favor. Kasi yung ginawa ng Office of the Solicitor General na naghugas na siya ng kamay, in effect siding with us, is a very good legal advancement on our part. No? It favors our legal stand. So that augurs well for the future of the cases that we filed. So kailangan tayo dasal, tatag lang. Sabi ni Pastor Apollo Kibuloy, kailangan tayo magtatag lang at kailangan tayo manalig sa Puong May Kapal, kasi kung siya ang mag-move, no, walang makapigil niyan. Maraming salamat po.
Salamat po,
Thank
Atty. Torion, sa iyong napakahusay na mga kasagutan sa katanungang na umiikot ngayon sa ating social media. Thank you very much mga partner. Grabe, no? Pagka si Dean Torion talaga kausap mo, parang pagkatapos abogado ka na rin, ano? Ang dami nating natututunan talaga.